Jamie.
Hello.
Hello.
When they're out there in the audience watching the show, we don't want them to think about how they did that.
Exactly.
We just want it to wash over them.
An actor prepares. First you button your fly. Are we on?
We are ready.
If you can see that there are people working backstage, we're doing something wrong.
Right.
It should look so flawless and so easy and just, you know, the sound of music flowing over the mountains.
There are over 1,000 people standing in the pouring rain waiting to get into the sound of music. But we're going to take you backstage to see how this well-oiled machine works, so that when they see it out front, they don't even have any idea what goes on.
The average audience member has absolutely no idea how much goes into putting on a show.
Well, and basically we don't want them to. I mean, people watching this program are obviously interested, and it's great so that they can see it on a generic level of this is a show, this is how a show works, or this is how the electrician on a show works. But when they're out there in the audience watching the show, we don't want them to think about how they did that.
Exactly.
We just want it to wash over them. We want them to follow the story. That's what we're doing, is telling a story.
Well, we have about 800 lights on the show, and they're all overhead, left and right, and out front, balcony position, box booms, a light pipe up front there. We have audio speakers on that, and automated moving lights on that too, that they can be computerized to move and to follow and put the light where you need it at any given time. So a huge will flip up, and the altar will come up from down in the base.
Oh, wow. And when we look off to the wings,
Right.
we see scenery, we see lights.
Everything in the world, and there's part of the scenery is flown in the air. So when one comes on, they'll take the other one down and get it ready to come on, and then they'll take one off and they'll fly that out to get it out of the way. You have a limited amount of room.
Our job is to work with the stage management and the carpenter on stage that visually watches everything for safety purposes, and we basically move scenery via a computer system and an automation system, which is behind us here, that controls all these winches, hydraulic pumps, lifts. Virtually every automated access is controlled through this system here. That's basically our job, is to move scenery as safely as possible in conjunction and on cue with the show.
And a big responsibility.
Yes.
If you can see that there are people working backstage, we're doing something wrong.
Right.
It should look so flawless and so easy and just, you know, the sound of music flowing over the mountains, you know? What I do for 6-8 hours a day is keep the clothes put back together. You know, opening night when the designs are totally set, then it's my job to keep them as close to that perfection as it was opening night. We've been running a year now, so, you know, little by little, as time goes on, it's more difficult to keep those things up. These are the actual sketches for the original designs for the show.
What time does your day start, and what time does it end?
On a matinee day, I'm here around 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
And on a matinee two-show day, which today is not, today we just have a matinee, but I'll be here from 10 in the morning to 11 at night. Well, on a dress like this, which is quite expensive, I would guess it's around $6,000 gown.
Wow.
If in fact the other person would fit in this, we would probably use this. But because she didn't, we had another one made.
What happens if you have an actor and they gain a little weight and their costume doesn't start
I
fitting the
give
way
them a little talking to, but I usually tell actors I gladly take things in, but I don't like letting them out. So people usually are pretty good.
Somebody went blind doing these beads.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it used,
Well, you know,
it used
this
to be nuns in the old days, right? It was
Yeah.
just kind of ironic in this
very
show.
difficult now. Right, I wish we had them. Where are they? Yeah, it's very difficult. I mean, the beading, just the technique of beading is becoming lost. It's difficult to find the people. A lot of them are from Europe, Middle European countries.
Right.
And we love them because, you know, they do it on big looms. It's all work from the back. It's a huge process to do this. And for me, it's not a problem just to fill in little areas because I do one at a time by hand. They use a crochet system working from the back side of the fabric with a little small crochet hook that brings up. And you know, you've probably worn a dress when you see a little thread and you pull it and it goes.
The thing goes.
I think in the final fitting, I'll take a pack of cigarettes if I don't have anything else and put it basically where we'd be wearing the mic pack because it gives you a little, yeah, on fitted garments especially, it's sometimes a problem to find a place to put them. Even though now, when I was an actor, they had those big Vegas, remember those big packs that were like huge?
Yeah.
We've got now the Sennheisers, which are quite small in reality, but they do make a difference. On something like this, which is a very sleek fit, a lot of times we'll put them on the inner thigh so that the outside silhouette isn't disturbed.
I see.
Yeah.
Now, if somebody pops a button right during the show, somebody has to be there real fast.
We knock
doing
wood
it.
about that. Yeah, I'll run around. But generally speaking, that things are looked over so well before the show actually goes up that won't happen.
Yeah.
That's why we're here so early in the morning to check all the hooks, all the snaps, It's a big job. Plus, we have 10 dressers that actually work with the actors. I don't go into the show backstage and, I
Right.
stay here and do this. But there's 10 people that keep, those clothes, all the pressing, all the steaming, and they're here 4 hours before each show. Generally speaking, an audience member doesn't realize how many people there are that work backstage in a Broadway musical. It can be, I think we have maybe 40 to 50 people total here. I mean, there's lots of people involved. And it's a big family. It has to work like a family or you're really in trouble. Because we basically live together here. We're here 8 shows a week. And that's a lot of time spent.
More time I spend with my family.
Yes, and sometimes that's a good thing.
This is George, Bonnie, and George, and you're all on this huge console all through the show. There's a lot of machinery, a lot of knobs.
Yes, it is. In a nutshell, the sound department as a whole controls everything that's heard in the show. You see the names of the characters displayed in this center section. For this scene, we just have the captain and Brigida and these various people that we're controlling. Then the next scene may change that entirely. Go to the next, the names change as we need them for that scene. So rather than us scurrying down and finding the person or scurrying down here, we're just working it from a central location as needed.
Wow. Now, these monitors are for what?
The top one there is the conductor monitor, a picture of the conductor up close that I see and that they see all over the theater. Pretty much everyone follows him. All the performers are wearing radio mics on their heads.
So it's your job to, when they go off stage, to turn that mic off so that we don't hear the backstage conversation? Is that?
Yes, yes.
That's the dream.
Now, who would be the person that actually decides that, the mic goes back here or wherever, or where the wires go so that you don't see it?
Sometimes the actor will actually say, I like to have my mic here or here or here. Sometimes they'll say, and if the costume allows, then they can do whatever, they can pretty much do what they want. That's really rare.
That's the joy of live theater.
It is. The joy of live theater is getting to know your coworkers as you go burrowing around under their clothing.
Hi, Dennis. Do you mind if we came visit you when they put your mic in your mouth? I'm asking you, and you can't say no.
Yes, he can.
He can say
No, we hope you will.
It's fine. It's fine. That's an interesting
process.
Yes, you do your hair so well.
And yeah, come on by. Sure.
Great. About 1:30. Thank you.
Okay. An actor prepares.
That's right.
First, you button your fly.
That's a good part. That's a good part.
Are we on?
I mean, this is fairly typical, I think. The actors typically wear their transmitter, which is in here. Actually, let me show it to you before we get all excited. Transmitter has batteries in it, has a little red light, tells you it's on, has an antenna, and has a microphone. And that's the size of the mic. So the actors wear their transmitters somewhere on their person, depending on their costume and other factors, where they're comfortable with it. We have these little toupee clips on the microphone. I don't know if you can
I can see it.
see them.
Yeah.
Just they are sewn onto the cable. We do that for each actor depending on their hairstyle and their head. We put them on in different places, so it's going to sit on their head appropriately.
It's fabulous because you don't even see it.
Yeah, that's the
So many shows you see, you know, this big thing here or here where it's really noticeable.
Yeah, well, we certainly try to avoid that. I'm not done back here.
Of course not.
Of course not.
Once you get used to them, I mean, you have the advantage of you don't have to project to the back of the house on every word, so you can have a much wider range of volume. If I'm in an intimate scene, you know, at very close range, I don't want to be shouting.
Right.
Ideally, and if this